it is. It's that official time. Where we take this worldwide. Let's go. Listen. So now it's time to turn it up. Surf the radio waves as we begin to burn it up. We all up in your area like landscape, definitely bringing you the pancakes. It's a mandate that you tune in. It's time to move out so we can move in and recognize that this is no illusion. I'm here to clear the air so that there is no confusion. It all started off in the book of Genesis when Jacob was wrestling with who he thought was his nemesis. And when the man saw he couldn't overpower him, he touched his hip but he really couldn't devour him. And from that point, then we hear a name change, rearrange the game, so now we gotta change lanes. So I'm here to let you know it's time to listen to the Pancake and Powerslam Show. Let's go! Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam Show. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam. Turn it up, it's the Pancake and Powerslam Show. Turn it up.
Yo, episode 565, we spine on the pond like the rock, like the rock and sock. Mick Foley wasn't on Raw 30, XXX, where was he? Was he in the BED in bed looking at it, or was he in the attic doing his thing by himself? He don't need your help. But where were you, Mick Foley, on the show? The Rock and Sock were the bros. They were the, like the Godfather. He was on the show. He made a cameo, with the APA, with JBL and Ron. Hey, and a group people, sheeple, acting like creepos, Doritos. They were eating during the poker game with the chips in IRS, talking about tax cheats. Ted DiBiase with the fake laugh creeps me out from down south, from GA or LA or Kansas City, I don't know, but it's good to go because we in P&P show 565 with the fam. That's what we do with you know who. Dr. C in the family with the P&P. That's what we do. Have fun. Ooh. We lounging like woo, like Ric Flair. Introducing Charlotte Flair for no reason, just to give her a cameo. Taking Bianca show. You don't even go here, she said back in NXT. Was she wrong? No, she wasn't, because she's on SmackDown. She's on SmackDown. So that appearance was a bit of a frown, but it's okay. That's what we do on P&P, baby. Yeah, baby. Let's go. How's the P&P Nation feeling tonight? How y'all doing, man? We got a lot of people already ready to rock and roll. I love it. Ricky, UK Zone here. Hello. I believe you interviewed D'Lo Brown a while back. Yes, I I've interviewed D'Lo Brown a long time ago, twice actually. One of them, 1 year was my anniversary show, and it's cool, man. You know, we talk off air, and he gave me some really cool words of encouragement. He actually said, "quote You've came a long way from day one," and that was really cool. That was really cool to hear, man. You know, I'm all learning. I'm all about learning and growing, and presentation matters and stuff like that, and you know, want to just continue to work on this stuff, man, because I enjoy it, man. I enjoy just continue to learn and continue to grow, and you know, have a cool, you know, presentation, cool little backdrop, and making sure that the camera's looking nice and crispy, and equipment's good, and all that stuff is very, very important when it comes to quality and for people to see. Man, quality is money, man. Quality is money, and I appreciate him telling me that, man. That was very, very inspiring. For those who don't know, I have my ROH shirt on, uh, honoring Jay Briscoe. I actually bought this. Actually bought this shirt. Oh man, I've had this shirt probably when Scum was around. Because there's some. I don't even remember who all signed this shirt. These are all signatures, by the way. Signature, 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 signature. Right there, all signatures. I went to. I covered ROH a lot, media wise, and um, there was one day that I got a honor club shirt, and there was a bunch of people who were on the um show that night who signed it. I believe Matt Hardy maybe was has one of these. I believe Kevin Steen, if I'm not mistaken. I think this is Kevin Steen right there, or Kevin Owens. I believe it was. I think Rhett Titus maybe is on here too. I know Rhino signed it. I know for a fact Rhino did. So I don't remember all the signatures, but there's a lot. There's a lot of signatures on on this shirt here. So I was like, you know what, man, I'm gonna wear my ROH shirt, man, and give my homeboy, um, you know, Jay Briscoe, the late great Jay Briscoe, some love because he definitely deserves it. So yeah, man, this is probably worth a lot. Uh, this shirt. Man, when was Scum around? I don't even remember. This had to be a long time ago. Because I remember it disbanded with I think Carino and Owens. They had like a steel cage match or something like that. It's had to be over 10 years ago. Yeah. Yep. So the debut was May 12th, 2012. So they were really hot at that time. They disbanded June 23rd, 2013. So yeah, it was around 10 years ago when I got this shirt and all these signatures because I remember Scum was still real hot at the time. Scum had a really cool theme song, by the way. And then Steve Carino kept the Scum theme song. I'm glad he did because that was one of my favorite ROH theme songs, by the way. It was really, really cool. I really liked AJ's theme song in ROH too, and I really liked Matt Seidel's theme song was a bit zany, but there was something catchy about Matt Seidel's theme song in ROH. But yeah, it ended. It was between. It was Steel Cage Warfare match. Yeah, so Team Scum was defeated by Team ROH. I think Kevin Owens made a babyface turn at that time. Yeah. Yep. So ROH team was BJ Whitmer, Michael Elgin, Jay Lethal, and Kevin Steen against Scum, which was Jimmy Jacobs, Rhino, Cliff Compton, and Rhett Titus. Yep. Good stuff. I remember watching that match. That was on June of 2013. Man, that's 10 years ago. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen. All right. Who we got? Ricky fell on average Raw with Legends on. Nothing special. Definitely don't feel like. No, it definitely didn't feel like the 30th anniversary. I was talking to D-Lo. I was like, why wasn't he on? Al Snow. Kane was advertised, but he didn't show up. That was weird. McFoley. I mean, there's just so many Hardcore Holly was, he was really big at the during that time in Raw. Like, you have all these legends, but it's like so many of them weren't even really a huge part of Raw at that time, during the 30 years. I mean, like a Hardcore Holly, Al Snow, definitely Mick Foley. I was mentioning a couple other names, with D-Lo, and definitely D-Lo. And I'm like, man, what are they doing? They didn't even get cameos from Rock or Austin. What are we doing here? It didn't make any sense. It just felt like another legend show. It was just. Now, I mean, there were some that was there were some parts that was good. I think the first hour was actually like the first hour was like, like this is good. Like I'm this is something new here. Like I'm getting interested. It was fast paced. The legends just weren't having standalone spots, at least the ones who came out the ring. They did the poker game. Like, you're flying people like Medusa and DDP out to play in a poker game. In a poker game? You fly them out there in a poker game. That doesn't make any sense to me. So, yeah. I mean, but you had Undertaker's segment was fantastic. Came back in ABA as ABA Taker. Great idea. Made that the psychology behind that, I think, is genius. Like, he rode off in the sunset against AJ. He was kind of the ABA gimmick there, still kind of a hybrid between Deadman and ABA. And he retired, and did the speech and kind of retired the Undertaker gimmick. And then he comes back as ABA. That was fantastic, man. I was a fan of that. And he, basically passed the torch over to Bray, which was great. I think he was the best person used in the segment. The DX thing was funny in the beginning, then it started to become a big old cluster mess. But it was funny in the beginning. It put Imperium over, because they were too afraid to go against them. That was funny. I'm glad they didn't do some type of spot where DX got the best of Imperium. I mean, that would have been horrible, man. So the way that they did that, the psychology behind that was really good. So yeah, I mean, they, as far as the television, as far as the in-ring roles for the legends, I think they did a good job. So the tribal court was really good. Big fan of that. So very interesting. Very interesting. By the way, I found this. I used to do, for those who don't know, I used to do trivia every single week on my show. And because it takes so much time, I don't do it as much anymore. But I kept a whole bunch of trivia questions in this bag here. So I'm going to pull out a bunch of them. Okay. So I didn't have time to do a whole new set of Royal Rumble trivia questions, but I do have time to read a bunch of trivia questions that I currently have. All right. So we'll do trivia. So I just pulled out a bunch of trivia questions that I had in that bag. So I got index cards and I'm going to read them. So yeah, overall, the legend spots, were good. Tribal Court was good. I liked it. We'll talk about who should win the Royal Rumble, or who do you think is going to win, not who should win. Who do you think is going to win the Royal Rumble? We'll get your thoughts here in a moment. So with that being said, let's get into some trivia. Here we go. Who was the final cruiserweight champion in 2007 before it came back? Who was the final cruiserweight champion in 2007 before it came back? There you go. There's your first trivia question of the night. Rumors Lesnar versus Lashley at Mania, or that's awful. I wouldn't be too opposed to that if Lashley wins. I mean, Lesnar needs to give Lashley the rub. I don't want no hurt business stuff. I don't want that. I don't want no hurt business stuff. A part of me would be slightly interested, because last week I talked about MVP and a heel Montez Ford. And I said, that is intriguing to me. The only problem is I don't want Angelo Dawkins to be left in the cold, because he's been busting his butt. He's been doing so much. I don't want to leave him out in the cold. So this actually would be partially intriguing to me if they did so basically MVP's trying to get Lashley back in the Hurt Business. If they did a Montez Ford led Hurt Business, like a new version of the Hurt Business led by Montez Ford instead of Lashley, I would be interested. And you can have Angelo Dawkins in there, Omos, and then again Alexander and Benjamin just doesn't make sense at all for them to be in there. They got fired and they haven't done anything to make them hireable again. That doesn't make sense. I mean, like you were talking about business booming. Okay, so you have a business where someone was underperforming, therefore they got fired, and they haven't done anything outside of being a part of your business that has caused you to want to hire them back. That's like hiring a college football player and a college football coach. Say, I'm a Ohio State guy, so let's just use Ohio State. Say Ohio State hires a college football coach. He underperforms. They fire him. He goes to another college. He underperforms there. Actually, a lesser expected or lesser tier college, and he underperforms at the lesser tier college, and he gets rehired by the higher tier college just because. Like, bad business. That's bad business. So it doesn't make sense at all why Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander would be a part of the Hurt Business, especially when they were rejected to be back several times, especially Cedric Alexander, and they haven't done anything to bring them back. So a Montez Ford led Hurt Business as heels, I would be interested in. Keep Angelo, Omos is there, maybe add a couple people, maybe Carmelo Hayes from NXT. That would be interesting. Yeah, I mean, I would be interested in that. In a sense, I would be interested in it. Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, I would keep Lashley a babyface. No need to bring him heel. No need to have him be a part of the Hurt Business. Let it drag him down. Make him the top baby face. It's working. The boom, 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 like that fans are interacting in that. They like it. Keep it. Like just make him a top baby face. So yeah, I would give them a beat. I would give Lashley a beat down. I would have, Lashley beat Lesnar and possibly get some steam that leads maybe Carmelo Hayes to come out. People are shocked that he comes out the Raw after WrestleMania. So he beats Lesnar at WrestleMania. Carmelo Hayes comes out Raw after WrestleMania. Then all of a sudden he comes from the ring, and then you have other people. He comes from the ramp, and then you have Angelo Dawkins, Montez Ford, Omos, and MVP surround the ring. They all come up. They beat down Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley's written off until like Money in the Bank or something like that. Bobby Lashley beats Carmelo Hayes at Money in the Bank, and then I would have him potentially lose to Montez Ford at SummerSlam, and then that would be a loss for Lashley, and then that would give Lashley some steam to come back and just kind of plow through all of the Hurt Business. Maybe the payoff is him beating Montez Ford at SummerSlam, and so yeah, I mean that would be something that would be that I would just on the fly booking. To me, that would be intriguing for Bobby Lashley and a new Hurt Business if they were to do that. Let's see here. We've got if it was left up to me, Reigns would never lose the title, but he has to. I would have him lose to Cody and The Rock at Mania, grab the mic saying he's the best. Yeah. The Roman Reigns never losing the title would not make wrestling. That would be impossible. I definitely wouldn't have The Rock be the champ either. Absolutely not. He's not even going to be there the next day. He was going back to Hollywood. Then you think WrestleMania is over, then logo appears in the corner, Braun Breaker, Spears, Reigns, pins on 1, 2, 3, then you get the next person. Nah. Build Braun Breaker. No one knows who he is. Royal Rumble predictions. Royal Rumble predictions. We'll get to the trivia question I asked here in a moment, actually. Let's do the predictions. Yeah, Sting on the thing was pretty cool. The Raw 30. Let's see here. Bianca Belair is going to beat Alexa Bliss. Reigns is going to beat Kevin Owens, definitely. Bray Wyatt's going to be LA Knight. Yeah, I think those matches are predictable. Women's Royal Rumble. Oof. Goodness, who in the world is? So I think you do probably Rhea. Yeah, probably Rhea wins. She hasn't won yet. She's come close. Rhea Bianca at WrestleMania, which I wouldn't be a fan of that actually. Actually, you'd be more of a fan of Rhea Charlotte too. Rhea's chasing now instead of Charlotte. Because the thing is, like, I think you should protect Bianca. And I think how they're booking Bianca, like Rhea would get I think that Rhea would get some pops, and that would be terrible booking. Like you need to protect Bianca. So, but I can imagine them doing Bianca and Rhea, and having Rhea win at Mania, which I don't think that's a good idea, actually. Um, yeah, I don't think when it comes to just as far as like protecting a wrestler, I think that yeah, I think that Rhea wins. Charlotte's still a baby face, so she's going to get cheered because she just came back. So I wouldn't mind Charlotte Rhea 2 for the SmackDown Championship. The only thing is that moves Judgment Day to SmackDown, which I wouldn't be opposed to. Actually, I wouldn't be opposed to that because then you can have Dominic and Ray, rekindle their feud. So yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to that actually. Rhea wins, invades SmackDown. Not only does that bring Rhea over to SmackDown to go against Charlotte again because Charlotte beat Rhea at the WrestleMania a couple years ago during COVID. So you have Charlotte Rhea 2 with people and for a championship for another championship, and now Rhea's the hunter, Charlotte's the hunted. So I would be opposed. I wouldn't be opposed to that. I actually be in favor of that. As far as the men's Royal Rumble match, oh man, I think Cody's going to win. I'm not a fan of that though. I'm just not a fan. I'm definitely not a fan of The Rock winning. Definitely not a fan of The Rock winning. Rock apparently isn't in ring shape. That might be a red herring though, by the way. And plus Meltzer reported that, so I mean, take it for what it's worth. So it's easy for him, it's easy for him to say, I'm not in ring shape, to try to veer us off of him making a return. That's always possible. The only thing is, I wouldn't mind, like, even if it's to veer people off and distract people and make the return more surprising. I'm not opposed to that, actually. I'm not opposed to a Rock return. I'm actually in favor of a Rock return. Rock Reigns at Mania. I'm actually in favor of that. I am not in favor of The Rock winning the Royal Rumble. Oh man, no. You had Brock win last year and Edge win the year before. Wait a minute. You had, was it who won last year? Brock won last year, didn't he? Yeah. He came out, he won, and I think he went against Reigns. So at Mania. So Brock won last year, didn't need to. 21 was Edge. And then Drew was 20. That was right before COVID. Drew winning was a great idea. I mean, he lost to Lashley. He won. He won the title at 20, and then he lost in 21 to Lashley when they had limited fans in Tampa. That's actually the weekend I got COVID. I was supposed to go there and do media. Horrible. Yeah. So yeah, you don't want to do legend. So Edge and then Lesnar and then Rock. Like, why? What is the Royal Rumble for if we're having people who are bona fide legends win, a match that they don't even need to be a part of? Or if they are a part of, it can lead to a Mania match outside of winning the whole thing. Just makes it's just a horrible concept, a bad idea. So I think Cody's going to win. I'm not for it. People are saying Sami Zayn. That's why I have Sammy on my thumb. No, he's not going to win. I think what you're going to do, I think what's going to happen is somehow Sammy's going to get involved in Royal Rumble, and that's going to lead to um, the official split. Sammy turns babyface. Sammy reigns Elimination Chamber, and then you'll have Sammy and Kevin Owens versus the Usos at Mania. So Sammy's not going to win, because he's been in the talks, but as a potential person to win, but nah, that's not going to happen. So you have Cody left, and I think it's going to backfire, man. You got all these video packages, and and then it's just super. Like, again, predictability is not always a bad thing. I say that all the time. Just because it's predictable doesn't mean that it's bad. It's okay at times to be predictable. It's okay, but if it's something that's predictable that people don't want to see be the conclusion, then you've got a problem. And Cody winning the Royal Rumble was kind of like the whole rain shoved down your throat treatment that people were complaining about for so long. You're kind of going to get that again, and I don't think so. I hope it's a swerve. I don't know who else could win. I really don't. You can throw Sheamus out there, Sheamus reigns, but you're like, I don't want to really see that at Mania. Drew, again, he won it 3 years ago. Drew reigns, that was talked about before at last year's Rumble, or a couple years ago. Yeah, I mean, they already did Drew Reigns at Clash of the Castle. Do you want to do Drew Reigns again? I mean, you did Drew Reigns at Survivor Series a few years ago, and that was a big flop. To me, I think that changed the trajectory of the momentum of Drew McIntyre. I think that match, that Survivor Series match, changed the whole trajectory of Drew McIntyre's momentum, because he was unstoppable, especially when he won the Royal Rumble. He eliminated Brock Lesnar. He was a heel at the time, transitioning to a babyface. The crowd went bananas when he won that match. And then he, made an official, he started to turn, between Rumble and Mania. I think that was a great idea to have him win. Had so much momentum. COVID hit, not hurt him tremendously. He was still having, matches. Lashley, Seth, Cody, the people before Big Show, people before him, his rivals during that time were solid. He was putting on some solid matches, but the COVID era just really hurt him. And then then losing against Roman Reigns at Survivor Series, man, that really, really hurt him. So I don't know. I don't think you do Drew again. I'm almost to the point of like Drew being damaged goods, and having him team with Sheamus is a good way to build him back up, I think. So no, you don't do Drew. And that's sad. Like, who the heck do you have? If Roman Reigns is the heel, it would make sense if a babyface wins. Seth again? No, thank you. Elvis, did you laugh when the Cowboys lost on Sunday? Yes, I think it was funny. I can't stand the Cowboys, as people know. No, that's not going to happen. He says he's too old, and I agree. Favorite part of Raw 30. I'll go the tribal court. I'll go the tribal court. That was my favorite part. Update on Mom. She gave everyone a scare last Wednesday. The nurse had to call a rapid response. Mom's BP was super low, then it was way, way high. She had 3 non-epileptic seizures, are called PNES. She is doing better than last week. Thank God. We are waiting to hear back from the rehab center this week. Fingers crossed she gets transferred to rehab this week. Yeah, I hope so too. Again, man, praying for her, praying for God to work a miracle. Can I pull an interview with Ron Simmons? Maybe not on P&P, but stay tuned. Maybe live. We got a spammer here. I'm going to delete your comment, spammer. There's another the same guy spamming. Oh, it's time to block, delete. Oh man. Goodbye. People, it's funny, man. People are just miserable. I mean, they're just miserable. Like there's someone who's just like wee hours in the morning, just coming on the show and just is like, let me just type a bunch of numbers. I hate myself. Let me just type a bunch of numbers on a wrestling podcast. Oh man. And I'm gonna send these numbers. Send. No, you'll get it. You'll get it this time. People are they have no life. Some people have no life, and they want to just spam because somehow they'll get a high off of people. Trolls do that too, actually. Trolls, they're miserable. They're miserable people, so they get a high off of somebody else feeling in a way like mad because it makes them. They get a rise off of that because they hate themselves. They are very insecure. They're lonely. Actually, the root of trolling is loneliness. So people are very lonely. So what they do is they try to make someone step into their lonely zone, and they either get a community of trollers, which is like, yeah, like for instance, like there's people who troll on Sports Keto when after the show, they're like, you Featherstone's, he's just so cringe, It's like, dude, or people, like I'm the host of the show. I'm the host of the show, and Vince Russo is the co-host of the show. Like he's the anchor, basically. He's the color commentator, so to speak. And good and well that if there's anybody that's going to be on the show, it's going to be me because I'm the host. I'm the anchor. I'm the host of the show. So you don't like you don't like me somehow because I have differing opinions, or because I'm not like over the top, like you want people to play, you know what I mean? And so I'm just chill, relaxed, like my man Bob Ross, by the way. See that? Chill. That's me. Just very chill. I'm just a chill dude. And some people don't like it. Some people just they have so much chaos in their mind that they don't like chill. And so they say something about it, and I'm like, you watch this show every single week, knowing that I'm going to be on the show, but you still watch it, and you still watch the whole thing, the whole entire thing, every single week, and then you complain every week. How about you utilize your time a little bit better and watch something that you want to watch without complaining about it. If you got paid to be a critic, go for it. I get paid to watch Raw and to talk about Raw. I watch SmackDown because I'm a journalist and Vince Russo doesn't watch SmackDown. So me setting the table for my guests, that's what you do as a good journalist and a podcaster. You learn how to set the table. You set the table and they eat from the table that you set. That is the one of the biggest rules of advice, ways of advice when it comes to journalists and podcasters. Set the table for the guests, let the guests eat what you set. So setting the table, watching SmackDown makes sense. Watching Dynamite makes sense because when we do Riding with Russo, a lot of things we talk about is AEW related. I don't watch Rampage, but apparently people think that I watch Rampage. Even if I did, so what? but yeah, I don't watch Rampage because there's nothing about Rampage that I need to know. So I mean, I NXT, same thing with NXT. I get paid to go to live events. So yeah. But it's just like the spammer here. It's like you're spamming shows and putting trolling comments on and putting trolling comments on either the chat or the video, the comments after the video. You're just a miserable person who has a life of wanting other people to wallow in the same misery that you have. But I'm not that guy. Elvis, right to censor. Yes, I agree. I agree with that 100%. Do I have Tennessee Titans or Ohio State pajamas? I do not. I would be down to get both, though, actually. So with your Patreon money, with your Patreon membership, Elvis, if you're not a Patreon member, join, and I will actually buy Ohio State pajamas and or Tennessee Titans pajamas with the dollars that the patrons use to support this show every week. Again, thank you, patrons, because if it wasn't for you, there would be no P&P. It is this a listener supported. I just don't have the time for the sponsors anymore to dig and do all that stuff with sponsors. I just don't have time for it anymore because my show is so busy. So this is completely, I used to have sponsors, but this is completely listener supported. Patrons, thank you so much for continuing to support this show. And if you're not a patron, listen, you literally can be a patron for $1 a month. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? You can't pay $1 a month and you get so much from this show and have fun, and you can't support it, the life of this show, by paying $1 a month? How about you do that? Teddy Long does the same thing every appearance, comes out and make a match and get a pop saying, "Player, let me holler at you, player." That's just stick, man. That's just stick. Yeah, that should be interesting. Mark Briscoe versus Lethal. That should be interesting. Indeed. 2 questions. Do you want to go to the Super Bowl? And who do you think will go to the Super Bowl? Do I want to go Super Bowl? Sure. Should be fun. Super Bowl. It's not really on my bucket list to attend a Super Bowl game. Unless the Titans go, then I would love to go to the Super Bowl game. But just to attend a Super Bowl game, it's not really been on my bucket list, actually. Yeah, never been on my bucket list. But hey, look, if I had tickets, I would definitely go and enjoy myself. Who do I think is going to go to Super Bowl? I've got Cincinnati and San Francisco. I think I'm pretty sold on Cincinnati versus San Francisco being the Super Bowl game. Although Philly looks really good against New York, and they've been looking good all year. Ooh, And Jalen Hurts has been balling, man. And A.J. Brown coming from Tennessee. Philly's been looking good, though. And San Fran barely got past Dallas. Brock Purdy. The Brock Purdy line from Paul Heyman on Raw was gold. It was really good. I actually wrote that down in my notes. That was a really, really good line from Heyman. It was hilarious. Oof, yeah. You know what? Based on last week's performances, because San Fran barely got past Dallas and New York. Philly beat the brakes off of New York. Ooh. So based on last week's performance, Philly would win the NFC. Cincinnati looked good. The safe bet, Cincinnati and Philly. That's the safe bet. That's the safe bet. Cincinnati, San Fran has it seems like more of a money match because they've competed before against each other in Super Bowl. So it would make sense. Yeah, it would make sense if they did a rematch. Yeah, but Philly looks good, man. Cincinnati, Philly's a safe bet. Yeah, I didn't see that he wrestled, but I know that he wrestled Brian Cage and he lost. So yeah, I do like Willie Mack though. True story. It's P&P. I'm gonna say it. That's true story. Willie Mack's a nice guy. He asked, him and I chatted, and he was interested in coming on my show, but he wanted a fee, and I do not pay people to come on my shows. I don't do that because we have such a huge following, and from a journalist perspective, it's interesting because pro wrestling is a really interesting animal. It really is because you have with any sport you have media and you have players. All right, so and that's not only with sports. That's with like investigative reporters and pop culture and things like that. So the more popular the media outlet is, the more privy a player or players or celebrity will be willing to be on the show because it's really a quid pro quo. It's like, okay, I get the celebrity guest and the celebrity get so I get the rub from the celebrity guest on my show, and then the guest gets the rub from the media outlet because the guest knows that they're going to get a lot of exposure because the media outlet has a lot of exposure. So with wrestling, though, a lot of wrestlers, to be fair, I've had several people ask me to pay them to be on my show, and here's my logic with this. Like Pancakes and Powerslams has a reach of over 500,000 people. All right, you have Sportskeeda that has a reach of over 3 million people. All right. So when a wrestler who is like not really going to help us get more clicks, more than we're kind of giving them exposure at the time, asks me or us to pay for them being on the show, that's just terrible business. That's bad. And what's interesting? It's so interesting. I've interviewed over 20 WWE Hall of Famers. Not one of them asked me to pay them. Not one. And so I appreciate that. That speaks a lot. That speaks a lot. Actually, Jimmy Valiant asked me to pay. Not anybody that I've interviewed, none of them have asked me to pay. But there's a couple Hall of Famers that asked to pay. And I was like, nah, that's not going to happen. I'll respectfully decline that. Because there's just people who are like, I mean, like, I'm paying you to come on my show, and then you're going to come on my show. I'm going to pay you, and then I'm going to give you more exposure because you're going to plug any shows that you have. But I'm giving you more exposure for people to know what you're doing. But I'm paying you for that? No, that's not that's not how media works. That's not how media works. Now, do people pay for stories? Like, do journalists pay for different stories? At times, yes. If there's like a big breaking story, they'll pay for footage or something like that, or something like that. Sure, but as far as just like bringing someone who doesn't immediately give clicks and paying them for that, paying them to help them out essentially. No, I mean, Goldberg didn't ask for a dime. Booker T didn't ask for a dime. Eric Bischoff, I've interviewed him 6 or 7 times. He's never asked for money. DDP never asked for a dime. JBL never asked for a dime. Ricky Steamboat never asked for a dime. Like, kudos to all the people I just said, because they understand the importance of media and what media is trying to do too, and they're helping media be media as we're helping them be, um, and through the outlet, through the medium um, of podcasting and broadcasting and digital media. It's an interesting team when it comes to media and players or celebrities. So there's a little insider 101 when it comes to journalists and podcasters. Hornswoggle, yes, good job. Cody Rhodes, Winter Rumble, also might throw together final 2 solo and same throwing solo, or even Wyatt LA Knight final 2. Wyatt LA Knight final 2, no. I don't see that happening. Now I did talk before about Sammy having some type of influence as far as like eliminating like Solo in the Royal Rumble. Like, that would be interesting to add a storyline to. Like, the Royal Rumble every year, that less than a handful of people are going to win. So make storylines out of it. I mean, you have before, you made a storyline with Michael's Angle, you made a storyline with Brock and Goldberg. I mean, like, so you make storylines out of them, and that's what the Royal Rumble should be. I'm all for it. You got 30 people there. You got a handful of people, who's going to win. Less than a quarter, less than a fifth of the people are going to win. Closer to an eighth to a tenth of the people in there are going to win. So develop some storylines. This is the road to WrestleMania. Develop some storylines in the Royal Rumble. That's what you got to do. WWE is basically telling us Cody will win. I can see that for both him and Seth winning. Ugh, can't see Seth. I don't want to see Seth. Yeah, it just seems like Cody will. I mean, ask me that question afterwards, because this is a lot. I always love answering people's questions, though, for the integrity of the question. See, how would I mean, heading to Roman Reigns, I would, the first thing I would do is I would possibly have, like, you're a different person than how my daddy, taught you an FCW type of deal. I would bring some realism to it. I would bring some type of connection to it as far as his father Dusty influencing Roman Reigns. I would even have footage played. WWE always have footage everywhere. So I would have Dusty play. I would have Cody play footage of Dusty mentoring Reigns while he was in FCW or NXT. So I mean, I would make it from that angle. And I think that you have like, I'm not that guy now. I'm the head of the table. I'm the tribal chief. It's my yard now. I would have him like just kind of think about what Cody's saying and realize that he's trying to like lessen his power type of deal, trying to make him a little weaker, trying to make him a little bit humble, a little bit more humble, and that would cause him to be like and to kind of double down on being standing firm on his current position. So I would bring that type of realism in it. If it's just a cookie cutter Cody Roman Reigns, I'm gonna do this for my daddy, or like it's just gonna that's gonna lose interest. You've got you got 2 months to build that up, so that will lose steam quickly. Even though I'm not a fan of them, I see Becky or Ronda winning the Women's Royal Rumble. They both have won before, so I don't see either one of them winning because they're both won. I mean, this will only be the 6th Royal Rumble. 2018 was the first one, so you don't want to have a repeat winner that close into the Royal Rumble. No, Becky won. Set up the first women's WrestleMania main event. You can't really, you're not going to repeat that, so it'll be a lesser feel to it, a lesser quality win, because that was the biggest Royal Rumble win so far, because that's the first and only women's main event. Ronda winning, no, I can see tag team with Shayna Baszler. Also to be in the Rumble. For what? WWE are selling new Rock merch and we're showing his own matches on YouTube. Do you think it's gearing up for the return? Like I said, I think it might be a red herring. I think it might be a swerve. I can't compete, and then all of a sudden, if you smell. How's my day going so far? Good, busy, tired. But I'm a blessed man. I really am, and I'm thankful. And yeah, life is good, man. Next question. Who did Kerry Von Erich defeat to win the Intercontinental Championship? The Texas Tornado. Who did Kerry Von Erich defeat to win the Intercontinental Championship? Maybe the last test for Sammy is for him being named guest referee and then helps Owens beat Reigns. No, because he's that could be, but Owens is not going to beat Reigns though. Definitely not going to beat Reigns. Maybe he was supposed to be there at a spot. He missed his spot. And then maybe Kevin Owens starts hitting him with a chair or something, maybe DQ finish, but Owens is not going to win the title. Let's see what we got before we close up. Aaron, what if WWE never hype up Cody's return? It was just a surprise entry like seeing it in the past. So that would be better. It would be better if Cody was a surprise return. It would make, it would make more sense if Cody was a surprise return. I've said this before. Why are you hyping Cody Rhodes to be a part of this WrestleMania as if they need, like, if hyping up Cody Rhodes puts more butts in seats, if it causes people to sub to Peacock, do it. It's just good business if you do that. But it's not. I mean, like, really, Cody's gonna selling Cody before the Rumble is gonna make people want to buy a ticket more. Really, I don't think so. I don't see that. So make him a surprise, and if he wins, make him surprise. Sammy actually, no, Sammy winning is just it's just out the window. Very sad state when there's really no one to face Reigns. Agreed. Should be really building other people when it's the only person they have is Cody. That's pretty bad. I agree with that 100%. Absolutely. Another round in the Rumble, Nick Aldis. I like Nick, but no, that's not going to happen. Look, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I mean, I'm an Ohioan, proud Ohioan. I'm all for Cincinnati. I'm rooting for Cincinnati winning the whole thing for sure. Yes, because they're lonely. That's why I said the root of trolling is loneliness. There's actually psychological data that shows that with studies that the root of trolling is loneliness. Jimmy injured. You see maybe a storyline going there. That was just that was a feigned injury. Yes. Sam Brono's in the house. Big Boo, I think you would look great. Thank you, but I won't get him. Thought Aurora Brothers finally changing the stripes and actually allowing Mark Briscoe to be Sodomite from now on. I'm for it. Good for them. There's so much I have to say about that too. Very selective in what they're banning. I mean, Facebook's like that. Like really anybody's like that. I mean, there's so many media things that are like that. I'll be selective of who I want to ban. Were you shocked on how the Undertaker came out on the motorcycle? LA Knight should have took the motorcycle. I don't think he should have taken the motorcycle. I think that was a good rub for Bray. I liked it. Move last night. All those people won last night. What do you think about that? Well, according, apparently he's having more swag, so he's basically back in the saddle again. That would be yeah. That would be a rematch of 3 years ago. Yep. Safe bet is Kansas City, Philadelphia. Cincinnati's 3-0 versus Mahomes. Cincinnati's 0-3 in Super Bowls. So the safe bet would be Cincinnati because Cincinnati's 3-0 versus Mahomes. So they would theoretically beat Kansas City. I think Dom fits in the Judgment Day. He's not strong enough. What do you think? Yeah, it really seemed like it. This gel thing, it's got a little bit of shelf life. You know what I mean? It's funny. It's different, but yeah. My fee is equal to the Rock's fee. Good for you, man. Make that money. Pat McAfee to win a Royal Rumble. No. Using money for planes. Yes. Oh, I saw a bunch. Oh gosh. Yeah, my theology channel. Follow Dr. Chris Featherstone, my theology channel. You'll see a lot of Uncle Kenny stuff that I talk about. No, you critical Raw, but what did you think of this Monday's Raw? Yeah, I talked about it. I mean, yeah, he beat Mr. Perfect. Good job, y'all. Mr. Perfect. Let's see. Let's do one more before we go. Blank managed the Hardy Boys in 1999. Blank managed the Hardy Boys in 1999. Yeah, like I said before, I think there were good moments. The first hour was solid, and then it went downhill. All right, let's see real quick before we head out. We know that any of the Dallas Cowboy players in the Royal Rumble, they wouldn't win. Indeed. Absolutely. 100%. Speaking of Green Bay, I absolutely would take Aaron Rodgers to the Titans. Without a doubt. Great. Blessed family. Absolutely. Michael P.S. Hayes. That's true. Good job. All right, y'all. We're going to head on out, man. Let's see. I got all these questions, man. Goodness. I got all these questions. Let's do one more. Who was the original manager of The Undertaker when he debuted? Who was the original manager of The Undertaker when he debuted? No, I've never been to a Rumble. Seth Rollins for the win. No, that's not going to happen. I don't want Seth to win again. No. He just won recently. What was it? 19 that he won? Right before he won the Rumble for set up for he won against Brock. They opened the show. That was the one that Kofi won the title too. So that year Seth won. So that was 19. So 4 years ago he won. No, thank you. Brother Love, indeed. I love you. Absolutely. All right, y'all. Head on out, man. Fun as always, man. Y'all pray for me as I get some rest. I am a busy man, and my schedule is just action-packed to the max. And yeah, man, I need to get me some rest. I'll be doing my best to do that tomorrow. And chilling. All right. Here we go. Go. You know what time it is, y'all. You know what time it is. It's time to go. Yeah, it's time to go. It's time to go. Vacant for the Royal Rumble. Yeah. He's got a pretty good record. He's been the champion before. Former WWE champion. Thank you, Ricky. Thank you, P&P Nation, for another amazing show. Enjoy the Royal Rumble, P&P. I'll see you later. I'll see you later. Tighten up, yeah.